Hey, welcome back to another episode of Open Shutter. Open up the fall schedule, I guess, as they say, because summer is over, which I'm very sad about. But the good news is that I have Cal on to open up the fall schedule. So huge shout out to Cal for going on and opening up the schedule for us, man. Thanks,
Yeah,
thanks
thanks.
for coming
Thanks for
on.
having me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
having me. Yeah.
We're just chatting offline, so I don't want to talk for you. I mean, I'll let for the audience out there that are watching, listening, either on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, whatever the case is. Like, what do you want the audience to know about you first?
Uh, well, I love travel.
Yeah, it's in your Instagram
I
bio.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I love travel, all things photography. Getting a little bit into video as well, but
Nice.
beyond that, I mean, kind of sums it up.
Yeah, man. When was your first trip?
Oh man, that is probably a long time ago, well before I got into
Yeah.
photography.
Right.
Like growing up, I mean, so I was born in Hong Kong.
Hmm.
I moved here when I was about 4 years old, and so every 3 4 years I'd go back, fly back to Hong Kong and see the rest of my family.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that since I was little, but I mean, I guess that doesn't really count. I don't really count that as like a trip. It's more
Right.
like just kind of seeing
It's
family.
home.
So if
You're going home. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So if we're talking trip, like my first
Trip,
actual
like
trip that
an actual trip that you
yeah,
that you planned and you paid for.
that would be. I want to say it might have been Iceland. I think.
Yeah?
I think it might have been Iceland actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Iceland, eh?
early 2017. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first time I
Win
ventured, and I did that solo as well. So that was
winter or summer? Winter or summer that you went?
it was the tail end of winter. I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was either late February or early March. I can't
Okay,
remember.
right.
Yeah, so around there. Yeah,
Interesting, man.
yeah.
And why Iceland?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Iceland's Iceland. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. And at the time, so I started photography like more seriously the year before. So in 2016, I want to say in the summer.
Right.
And
Right.
we all see Iceland photos on Instagram.
I know.
Even
Crazy.
back then, it was like you would just see it pop up on your the explore page or someone's
Yep.
feed.
Yeah.
And so that really I think Iceland's one of those places that you really, even without being there, you can kind of tell like, oh my God, this place is like a different planet sort of thing.
It
And you
is.
hear that you hear
It
that
is a
all the
different planet.
time, and it
It
really
is.
is.
But it
Yeah,
is. Yeah, I know.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean it was almost like an impulse decision. It's like, okay, I don't know, let's just go.
Yeah.
So
Did you
and then
fly WoW Air?
I did.
Did you fly WoW
I
Air?
did. I
Yeah.
did. I did.
The
Yeah.
greatest airline. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man, because that was so
Yeah.
cheap to go, and they had
It
that
was
European stopover. They had that European
yeah.
stop where you could stop. Where if you go on a European stop, it was beautiful, but
Yeah,
it's too
yeah,
good to be
yeah.
true. Because I think they
It
folded just before COVID, or no, something like that. But
yeah, I don't remember
yeah, man,
anymore, but yeah,
shout out WoW Air.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you took up photography because you wanted. Like, how did you get into photography then? Was it tied to travel, or was it totally separate?
No, actually. I guess travel kind of came about, like hand in hand naturally, but I guess
Yeah.
I think what first drew me into photography was just honestly seeing like friends that were into photography and, pictures they've taken or friends of friends. And,
Yeah.
my interest naturally just kind of started, just kind of it just started growing on me. Because growing up, I hated photography. I hated it.
Really? Why?
I hated being in pictures. Well, it was
Ah,
probably it was probably mostly due to being in like family trips and with family friends and
yeah,
stuff. And so, oh, take the
yeah,
basic touristy
yeah,
photos, say cheese. I hated all that.
sure.
So growing up, I was never around cameras, but it started really growing on me. I want to say I think it was in like 13 or 14, near the end of my university life. I remember seeing a couple different Instagram feeds because at the time Instagram was also kind of new, right? So it
Yeah.
was,
Right.
just kind of started looking at people's photos and seeing what you could do and the kind of pictures that you could take if
Yeah.
if you were taking it a little more seriously. It's like, wow, okay, this is kind of cool actually. So
Yeah.
and then a Best Buy deal came about in 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
So I grabbed my first camera around then, and from
Yeah.
there it was it was history from
What'd you
there.
get? What'd you pick
It
up?
was a Nikon D50. I think it was 5200 or 5100.
Yeah, I
One of
had
those.
that.
Yeah,
I had that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So it was a Black Friday sale. So
Nice.
it was almost like a sign.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cool, man.
yeah,
It's interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's like whenever I go traveling, it's like I don't do any museums or do any shopping. It's just like photography for like 12 hours, you know?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like that's just what I do. Like I
I
don't
get
like
that.
that's
Yeah,
just what I do. Like
yeah,
people go for different reasons, but that's why I go, you know.
yeah. For sure, for sure.
And that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no limit to like the kinds of images that you can take, that
Yeah.
you can find. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I'm just on your IG page now. I'm trying to find
for
pictures of
sure.
Iceland. Like, are they on your page?
Oh, I mean, no, you
I
gotta
guess
scroll. You gotta scroll
I
way
guess go
down.
way
You
back.
probably,
I guess to the
yeah.
start.
I haven't
I'm
reposted
trying to
that in
find them.
so long. It's I mean,
You ever look back at your old stuff?
I do, I do.
Yeah.
And it's funny because back then, I mean, oh my god, I edited my photos so differently. It's not
Mm,
even the same style, like not even close. It was
yeah.
more like moody photos back then. So
Right.
it was, yeah, that's kind of a lot cooler images, a lot cooler tones.
Back then.
Back then, yeah, yeah. Now I'm like the
Interesting.
opposite. I just like, hey, if it's warm, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And what do you
yeah.
use? Lightroom to edit?
Yeah, Lightroom.
Or yeah.
Sometimes I'll use like Visco on my phone just to
Right. Right,
tweak it a
right.
little bit. Sometimes Snapseed, but majority of my editing
Right.
process, yeah, Lightroom. Yeah,
Interesting, man.
yeah,
Cool, man. Like, yeah, it's like how do you like I mean, how do we like we just chatting offline about like travel photography and
for sure. Yeah.
people go to like places and they shoot like the touristy shots. Like how do you approach your shots? Like when you arrive in a city, like do you use an app for like locations or
So well, it's really, the planning process starts way before I even get to a city.
you
I'm
don't just
not
hop off the
as
plane and say take me?
yeah, I'm less of a spontaneous. I'm not. No, I'm not like I'm not spontaneous. But I'm
Yeah.
not like just kind of run and gun kind of thing. Like I want, a certain time of day. I'm gonna shoot this place, this spot, a certain time of day. And then I'll
Right.
plan out the rest of my day after that. And if I, for example, for like street shots, that you can kind of just kind of spontaneously aim your camera
Right.
somewhere and get a nice image.
Yeah.
But I'm not most of the time I'm not shooting street shots. It's more planning around certain locations, and then from there, if I find a nice composition, then yeah, I'll shoot that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. It's
Yeah, because for me,
whatever it comes out.
it's like I don't I'll take like the like say for example go to Paris, you take the shot of the Eiffel
Yeah,
Tower, cool.
of
There's
course.
so
Yeah,
many shots of the Eiffel Tower, so to me it's like how am I gonna
yeah,
capture Paris differently? And that's always a
yeah.
challenge, right? Because it's like you just kind of see the
It
same
is.
stuff over and over again on social media, so you really need to kind of
Yeah,
like dig deeper and figure
yeah,
out like well what's not as popular. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
And
And that
and
requires a little bit more research.
it does. Yeah, research, like definitely for sure. I mean, like you were alluding to, I don't necessarily have apps per se to help me look for compositions, but from
Yeah.
time to time I'll just go on like Pinterest or Flickr, outside Instagram, because if you're just looking at
Right.
images on Instagram,
Yeah, that's a good point.
like, you're gonna gravitate towards what you see,
Yeah,
and you go,
yeah.
oh, that's cool. Let me,
Influence that way, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Mm,
sometimes I find that being outside Instagram, you can kind of find a lot of compositions that you might not have seen.
yeah,
Um, And then in terms of, time of day, for example, Photo Pills is a widely
right.
popular app nowadays.
Yep,
You
yep,
can see, you can pinpoint certain, exactly where the sun's going to be at a certain time. Like, it's insane,
yeah,
right? And so
I
Photo
know.
Pills, if it requires me to capture something on a certain angle or something, in the morning
Yeah,
or at
yeah,
night, whatever it is,
totally,
that's an app. Yeah, that's an app I'll use
totally,
for sure. Yeah, yeah,
100%. And
yeah.
what do you like more, sunrise or sunset? I guess it
You
depends on time
know,
of year too.
Yeah, it's funny because I made a post about that recently, saying
Yeah,
asking if you're a sunset or sunrise or sunset kind of person, and I
yeah,
said
yeah,
I'm actually kind of more of a sunrise person, only
yeah,
because I do wake up a lot earlier when I'm traveling than when I'm here,
yeah,
and that's just so I
yeah,
can make the most out of my day. And so
of
naturally,
course.
if I'm going to be up that early, yeah, I might as well just catch a sunrise, go get breakfast somewhere,
Yeah,
and then blah blah blah, and just kind
I'm the
of
exact same way.
right, exactly.
I'm the exact same way.
Yeah, but sunsets, I will say, are a lot more forgiving to capture because you have way more time. Sunrises, once that peak light is gone, it's gone quick. So for sunrises, you really have to capture it like quickly before it becomes like
Yeah,
too
no, I
harsh.
know. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I know.
yeah, yeah,
To me, it's like sunrise in like a new city. It's just like something very like calming about it.
yeah. It's
Because
refreshing.
say for
It's
example,
refreshing.
you're somewhere in the
Yeah,
summer and there's like a big tourist crowd there, but if you're there for sunrise, no one's around. It's so quiet and peaceful. It's almost like you've captured
exactly. Yeah,
like a
yeah,
secret slice of like that city when nobody's
yeah,
around, and it's just like I don't know. There's something about it that is just kind of very, very. It's very calming, I think, to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, for sure, for
You know,
sure. Yeah.
but
And
but
yeah, like you said, with the tourists around, like no one's around. It's
nobody's
like
around. It's fantastic. You got the whole place to yourself. You got the
exactly.
whole place
Yeah.
to yourself. Like I did sunrise at like Vatican City. There's nobody around. Zero. I was the only person there, and I had like a security guard. And the guys like look at me like, "What the hell is this guy doing?"
I'm
Set the
planning to do
tripod and
that.
the whole thing, like just
Yeah. Yeah.
only person there, man. It was really, really bizarre. It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
summertime. It was like friggin' five, like it was like 5 a.m. But I mean, it's worth it.
That's
It's
gonna
worth it to like
yeah.
to sunrise. Even if you're not a photographer, I always say just get up at sunrise and just walk the streets because
Yeah.
it's a different feeling to like the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, man. Um,
Yeah.
so like, how do you like? What do you like? Oh, maybe I'll show your IG page and then maybe you may pick out a couple
Yep.
of
Sure.
photos that you want to like speak about.
Sure.
Because they're so varied, right? Like, how do you pick what to post kind of thing?
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? Like,
it's tough sometimes. It's tough. I just kind of post whatever I feel or want to show, or if
sure.
I want to edit something, and it's like, okay, this is gonna be my next post, and that's kind of
Yeah.
generally how I've done it for a little while now.
Yeah.
And I guess to some people it might seem random, but I mean,
It's not random to you though. There's
it's
a
travel, so
it means something to you. Well,
yeah,
to me, it's like a memory, right? You're kind of it's a photo, but it's also like a memory too of that
yeah, exactly,
place of
yeah,
that time. Like
yeah,
this shot's
yeah.
pretty cool. I like this shot a lot. That's great.
The Lombard Street, yeah, that
That's
was
pretty cool.
that was fun. That was Lombard Street definitely is one of my favorite captures. Uh, just because it's iconic, obviously, and it's not. I'm not the first one to do it, obviously, but I mean,
Yeah.
just just that narrow, like, because it's a one-way street,
Yeah.
right? So it's like narrow. It's curvy. It's
Yeah.
pink. Like it kind of has, and it's just wedged in between this one, between houses. So I mean,
I know.
for sure, that was definitely one of the locations I've always wanted to capture
Nice.
on my drone. So yeah, just
Yeah,
that I love that.
I haven't seen too many drone shots of it though. I think that's what I like about it.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of drone stuff with it. People always
Yeah.
put like the street level, like, you see a
Yeah.
lot of that, but the drone, it's different,
See,
right? Which I like.
you know what's funny is I wish I caught some street level shots of Lombard, but when I was there, it was so hazy, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
You
if there
can't
was
even
like
see the street, eh?
yeah, no, like so I had I did post a photo within another carousel of like my time in San Francisco. And one
Yeah,
of the shots was like looking down Lombard Street, like all the way. So it's just like one big road basically. You
yeah.
could barely see the other side. It was so hazy.
Really? You
Yeah.
went there this year?
No, this was 3 years ago now. It was in
3 years
2021.
ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
2021. I think they just had like I don't know if it was just like smog or if it was forest fires. I can't remember anymore. But regardless,
Ah,
it was just really hazy. So I wish I had uh, a cleaner street, horizon view to work with. But
yeah.
I can't complain if I,
It's cool, man. The
have
drone
the chance
shot's
to
cool though,
post
and
it.
I like how like the
Thank you.
street's like a snake.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a
It's
unique
super.
street. Yeah.
It's so cool. Like this is how the street is, like that.
It's loading
That's
for me.
cool.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Like
see,
I've
the drone
seen
shot's so much better. The drone shot's so much better, I think,
it's
because you
yeah.
get
I
more of
mean,
it. You get
yeah.
more of it.
You see the whole thing. You see the whole thing, and
Yeah,
but yeah,
man.
yeah,
I guess these people living there are so used to people just like shooting
yeah.
the place all the time. Like,
You know what? Sometimes I wonder how those people haven't gone crazy, honestly, because it's like the most touristy street in the
there's
world, I think,
gotta
or
be
one of
photographers there all the time. There have to be people
all the
cameras there
time,
all the time.
all the time.
All
So
the time. Just people shooting and
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But I guess they got money, right? Like,
Oh, for sure. Oh, if you live
they got
there,
money. You got money, right?
you got money. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
money.
yeah. You got money. Interesting. You like
Yeah,
San Fran?
yeah. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was. I liked it when I was there. But in a weird way, I don't like. I mean, I'm not throwing shots at San Fran or anything, but I don't like miss it
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah. It's
it's
not
not.
somewhere you go back to.
I think I will eventually, but it's not that. It's definitely not like, you know, priority for
It's not
me.
high on the list.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice though. It's nice, especially like if you go up to like Point Rise, like if you drive up
Right.
north, like there's some
Yeah.
really really nice scenery around there. But the city itself,
Yeah.
it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I was in San Diego over the holidays last year. I like San Diego a lot. It's expensive, but I liked it.
I want to go there. I haven't been there before.
San Diego is really nice.
I've heard. I've
It's a
heard.
beach. It's a beach culture kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like I can't surf, but if I lived here, I probably would learn how to surf because everybody surfs there.
Oh
It
yeah.
was cool, man. I liked it. I liked it a
Okay.
lot. It was just a different vibe, man. But I like the
Yeah.
water though. Like I like the ocean. Like to me, it's like just put me by the ocean, I'll be good.
Yeah, honestly, like it's really the best out there, West Coast, like
The West Coast
man,
lifestyle is it just hits different, you know?
it really is. It really is.
It just
Yeah.
is different. I'm like, yeah, because like last over the holidays, because my work is closed over the holidays, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I'm like, where am I gonna go? And my passport was expiring, so I could only go to like the US. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to San Diego.
Oh, okay.
It was a good choice. So if you're thinking about going, I say go.
Yeah,
Basically.
you know what? I think next time when I head out to LA, because I have some friends there. I might make a
Yeah.
trip over to San Diego.
Yeah, man. You
Yeah.
golf?
You know what? I don't. I've tried. I just can't get into it right now. I don't know.
Big golfing culture there too.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, man. San Diego. It's not just Anchorman. It's not just Anchorman, but you
Yeah.
know.
I'll
So
make it
like
out there
where
one day.
like Yeah. Where's the place you would go back to? That's kind of like high on the list for you.
You know what? I would say
Yeah.
Japan because there have been.
Japan.
So I went in the last time I went was in 2017. So I went to
Yeah.
Tokyo and Kyoto. But it was a very rushed trip. That was also solo. But I had friends show me around in Tokyo, so luckily it wasn't like completely. I wasn't like by myself. Um, but yeah, I mean, everyone's been going there recently.
I know. What's the deal with everyone going to Japan? Like, was there a sale that I missed?
Well, you know what?
Like,
Technically, because the yen is very is really low right now, so that's
oh, is that
why.
is
Yeah,
that why everyone?
yeah,
Man,
that's why I just had a friend head out there like 2 days ago. I'm just like, man, literally
really?
everyone's been going to Japan.
And the yen is
Um,
still like at that level?
it's getting I haven't really kept up, but I know it's been beaten to death recently, and that's why everyone's just been
Why?
going
Why?
there because
What's going on over Japan?
they're just having some economic troubles.
Are
What
they?
can I say?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. That's I don't
Man.
really know the whole situation, but I do know that much.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Great shot by the way.
Thank you.
Shinjuku there. That's great.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
like I liked how it was raining. I think the rain makes the shot.
It does. It does.
With the
Honestly,
umbrellas, it kind of makes it.
rain shots are I love rain shots. I
Yeah.
wish I was out more, even down here downtown in the city.
Oh,
Toronto, I mean. I wish I was down there
yeah.
more, but it's always it's a hassle getting down there nowadays. So I'm not
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
out in the rain shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great shot, man. Like it's Tokyo's great too, eh? Like
Have you
it's
been?
I've been to Tokyo, yeah. I've been to
Okay.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
I think it was the first place that I've had culture shock.
Oh, for
The
sure.
first
I
the first place like you land and it's like, okay,
It's
this
different.
isn't home. This isn't
No,
like what I've known.
no.
Yeah, I was honestly very surprised that there was no English at all. Like anywhere. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like when I
Yeah.
went there, I think what year was it? 2015? And I just
I, I
remember like there was no English anywhere. Like anywhere.
Oh, okay. I
So I don't
think
know if it's
there.
changed.
I think it's gotten better.
Has it?
But I do remember them speaking English. That probably hasn't changed, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's English because I when I went this year 2017, there was English like translations
Yeah.
on signs and stuff, but if you tried
Okay.
asking for directions, like good luck.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was hard to like get people to help you. You kind of have to point and like kind of like
yeah, you just gotta
yeah, I just
figure out
remember
your
it was just like it was
gestures.
the first yeah, kind of like gestures like no,
Yeah,
you just gotta
yeah.
like figure it out on your own because no one's gonna really
Ye-
understand what the hell you're trying to say. But
yeah.
no, it's a great city, man. I really enjoyed it. Like I would definitely go back to Japan too. I think there's a lot to discover there. You know, outside of the cities, if you go into like
Oh,
the
so much.
countryside and like there's so
Yeah,
much to see
yeah,
and to kind of like experience. You know, I think Japan's like a real like experience. You know.
yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
Lots to see in the countryside that I haven't seen. So
Yeah.
tons to explore.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, it depends on people. You know, people go for different reasons, but I think
Oh yeah,
you know, like I've done like the Cancun stuff and everything, and you know, I'm past that now. Now I'm more about like experience. Like, what's an experience versus like a trip? Because I think they're two
right.
separate things. You know, like
Yeah,
you really need to have like an open mind sometimes.
you do, you do.
You know, and just kind of like
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's the best part about travel. Just like just having an open mind and just like seeing like how different cultures are because you know, you stay here in Toronto all the time. It's like you kind of get desensitized to like, okay, this is how it's always been, but actually, no.
yeah. It's
You know,
just
people
getting
are,
outside your comfort zone and outside your little bubble.
yeah,
There's so
yeah.
much
It's
to
hard
see.
though. It's hard though sometimes to do that because you know
Yeah,
people don't like the unknown. You know.
yeah, which is sad because I mean, and I'm not saying that as in like
Yes.
in a condescending way or anything, but
Sure. Sure.
you know, I also kind of used to be like that, where I just wanted to just stay home and not really do anything.
Yeah, because it's
Play
safe and it's
games.
like
What?
and
Yeah,
it's
but
and
yeah,
it's
once
safe and
you
warm and cozy.
yeah, and once you really get out there and see what's out there, you really unlock, um, you know, or open your mind up, and there's
Yeah,
just you just realize how small, or how big the world is. Sorry.
it is. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah, I don't know. I think most people are good. I think 99% of people are good. So, I don't, you know,
Yeah.
people always like preach like certain countries are bad, but I see people go to like,
Yeah.
all these crazy countries like Iraq and Afghanistan. It's like, no, it's actually pretty nice. Like the media is out there showing you what they want to show you, but actually if you kind of go and like see for yourself and speak
Yeah.
to like the locals, like it's just like anywhere else, like people are like the same, like wherever you go people just want the same stuff, like they just, we're all the same. It's just, you're
Yeah.
just in a different place,
Yeah. I
but
agree. Yeah.
I think most people are good. Like I think most people want to help other people. Like you go anywhere in the world, like to me it's like you can get stabbed on Young Street here, so like,
Exactly. That is the perfect analogy. You can get
you
stabbed
could
right
you
here at
could
home,
you
but
could
then you're gonna listen to the media telling you this country's
yeah,
bad,
like
whatever.
to
Like,
me it's like,
yeah.
just have common sense and just like trust your gut, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, you know if you don't
Yeah.
go, then no one's going to tell you, because no one tells people to go places. It's like ultimately it's the person that decides to go.
Exactly. Like
It's not
you
like you're
you gotta
forced to
figure.
go somewhere. It's like, oh, I got 2 weeks vacation, what am I going to book? Oh, I'll just stay
Yeah.
home, I'll do like a staycation, and then okay, cool. But
Yeah.
I mean,
And
if you're able to do it, if you're able to go somewhere, when I say go, look at COVID, what happened? You never know what's going to happen in the future.
exactly. Like you
So
you
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 might as
just
well
take it
just
for
go.
granted.
You
Exactly.
do
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. People are always like, "Oh, why you like?" Because I do like a lot of trips like solo. Like I do a lot of trips solo, and people are like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, a, it's a pain in the ass to get someone to go with me, and b, like I just want to go. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for someone to tell me, okay, let's go now. Okay, great.
Listen, solo traveling is, in a way, like the easiest, because
It
you're
is.
planning it, you're
You're the
planning all
boss.
yourself, you do what you want, at your own pace. You don't have to
Yeah,
plan around other people, you don't have to wait for people to,
yeah.
like, wake up in the morning and get ready. You just go out the door when
You
you're
just go
ready.
and do
And
your thing. Yeah,
exactly.
there's a
Yeah,
there's pros and cons to everything,
for sure. Yeah.
but to me, it's like I tell people all the time, like if you're going to go, just go, because like you never know
I
what's going to
agree.
happen in the future. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where because I see it all the time. Like people, like even like in my own family, like people retire
Mhm.
and all this stuff, and
Mhm.
they can't go because they have all these health issues. It's like, well, you should have done it
Yeah.
earlier when you could do it.
And that's kind of my mindset when it comes to, traveling too, because it's like, you don't know how fast your body is going to deteriorate as you
No,
age, or what
exactly.
random complications you're going to have. So,
Yeah,
and it's also the reason why, like, for example, I don't really go to resorts or anything either. Like, I have with friends,
right.
way before I started photography. But
Yeah,
you can do that when you're older.
of
There's
course.
there's a reason why a lot of retirees go to resorts, because it's like, it's easy. It's you don't have to, like, really walk. But like, when you're younger, I think you should
Yeah,
I think you should try and,
yeah,
just explore as much as you can,
yeah.
before.
You should walk. You should walk across Europe.
Exactly, exactly. I
Or
highly
like bike it,
recommend
or
that.
bike it, or bike it. I
Yeah.
watched a documentary of like a couple people biking across, I think Africa or something. It was something crazy.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But
That's kind of crazy.
yeah. But anyway, the point is like I was trying to make is like I think most people are good, so it's not a question of like, are you gonna get like mugged? Well, maybe if you're in like the wrong streets at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe. But again, that's
Yeah.
where like common sense comes in.
That's just like street smarts. Like,
Street
don't be
smarts,
doing
like
that.
just be aware, just be aware.
You
But
gotta keep your guard up and be a little sensible.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. I'm just going through your. What are
Sure,
like
man. For sure.
any other travel photos that you really love? Is this the
Well, right.
Matterhorn? Nice.
That yes, that yeah, that's I mean,
Shit.
speaking of photos I like, yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Because I was only there in Zermatt for like 2.5 days, and
Damn.
it was the mountain. For those who haven't been to Switzerland, the mountain, if you're there like in the winter, because I was there in like November,
Yeah.
in 2019, it gets clouded out a lot of times. So if you're not
Right.
there like in the
Right.
summer or spring, maybe like it you won't see it all the time. So
Mm.
um couple that with it was almost golden hour when I took that Zermatt photo, or sorry, the Matterhorn photo. It was, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Um. That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's one
Yeah,
place I want to go to, Zermatt. Yeah, for sure.
I would definitely, that's also another place I would highly recommend someone or
Yeah.
anyone visit. I want to go back in the future. Switzerland is
No
just,
kidding, eh?
it's expensive, but it's
It's
beautiful.
very
It's one
expensive.
of
It's like $11 for a coffee, but other than
very, yeah, that's not even a joke. I remember
that.
I remember paying what, $20 for a small Costco,
Yeah,
well, Costco
that's
size
what it
hot dog.
is.
It was $20. This is 2019, okay? So when
I
you
know.
factor in how everything's, gone way up, everything's gone way up. Like I don't even want to know
Right.
how
I
much
don't want
that
to know how
same
much
hot dog
coffee
would
is.
be now.
You
Yeah,
gotta like you gotta like ration out the hot dog for like a week, like
portion
one
that.
little piece. Yeah, you gotta like ration that out, right? Because
One bite per
it's
day.
totally outrageous, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Great place though, eh? Cermak, man.
It's beautiful. It really is.
No kidding.
Switzerland is
It's
beautiful. Yeah,
crazy, man. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Um, you like kind of placing yourself in the photos too, eh? Which I kind of like. It makes it more personal.
Every now and then, yeah, every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm not. Again, I hope it's like I try not to do it in such a selfie kind of way, but more so like
Oh, but it's more like naturally, like in like the environment kind of thing.
yeah, in a more tasteful
Yeah,
and like artistic way.
like
I hope.
this.
There you go.
I like
That
that. It's very
sunrise,
natural. People do that all the time.
sunrise. Yeah, exactly. Like just playing around with
Are you
different
sunrise or
poses and
sunset?
stuff. This is the post I was
That's
talking
great.
about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So,
That's great, man.
um,
Okay, okay, okay. That's like a wallpaper, man.
yeah, Yosemite, another
Jeez,
place I would definitely go back to. I mean, it's
jeez.
just so much to see. Yeah, the sunset. This was a sunset, and it was,
Right.
yeah, it was nice.
You like heights?
I don't mind it, but if you can
Because
see in this
I'd be
so
freaking out out there.
in this photo, you can see I'm sitting. That's because
Yeah.
I was pretty nervous here.
No kidding.
That was probably
There's
the
no ropes.
highest. Yeah, no. That was probably the highest I've ever like looked down. And
Oh
so like
my god.
I tried to, but I was like, you know what? Like if I start shaking, I'm dead. So that thought just like
Was this your
just
idea?
yeah. It was, and I've seen people. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen people
Yeah.
post photos from here before. So I got my girlfriend to help me take this photo. She was just on the
Was
other
she
side.
nervous for you?
Yeah, she was.
Oh my
She was.
god.
Yeah.
Your
So
girlfriend's a
that's why I
trooper
sat.
too.
Yeah, I got a photo of her too. She literally crawled up to the edge. She couldn't even
No
walk to the
kidding.
edge. She just
That's what
crawled.
I would do. I would have
And
crawled too, but
I was scared to death for her. I was like, you better not get up.
oh my god.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have crawled too, man.
Yeah.
Um, but you gotta get the shot. So that's what you gotta do, right?
Did it for the shot.
That's what you gotta do, man.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no, we're talking about like seeing those photos on Instagram. Like, do you think like because a
Yeah.
lot of like places, especially in Europe now, like I've seen a lot of like kind of like busy streets, kind of like not closing the streets to traffic, but like
Yeah.
they're trying to like limit like the tourism numbers. Like I think, for example, like
Yeah.
take like Machu Picchu, like where like the tourism just exploded down
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and they had to
Yeah.
like curb the numbers where you need to like get like a license before you even leave to like go see Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Like, what's your take on like social media and like like tourism, because it's just like like even like Iceland, right? Like social media's exploded Iceland's tourism, where like tourists outnumbered locals. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
great question, because that's something that I've actually started to kind of think more about, because to your point, I mean, Japan, for example, has just been experiencing an insane saturation of tourists lately, partially due to the yen, or mostly due to the yen. So social media is a blessing and a curse, I think. You know, it's great to be able to share places with people, and like, we're all looking for, like, if you like travel, you're always looking for something new, right?
Sure.
So the blessing with social media is you can just share something in an instant, and you'll just browsing on Instagram, you see all sorts of creative type shots and what have you. But obviously the downside is, like, the more something
Everybody
gets
wants
shared,
that shot.
naturally,
Everybody wants that.
everyone's gonna want that shot.
Everybody wants a shot on the cliff. Everybody wants a shot on the cliff now all of a sudden.
I don't feel any type of way towards social media per se, but it's unfortunate because you're going to start seeing more and more places just, trying to curb the amount of tourists that visit a particular spot. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like there's no way around it. Right. So I guess I didn't really answer your question, but it's a blessing and a curse. That's what I would say.
Like it's really more geared towards like places, that are fragile or frail, like Machu Picchu, or like Stonehenge, or for even like Everest, for example, where Everest has just exploded into tourism, where you see the lineup of climbers up Everest, like places that are frail, or like they're linked to like the environment, and you just wonder like what that's going to do in the long run, because obviously social media isn't going to go away, and that's why people have that's why people have to like limit the numbers, because everybody wants it. And then it's like, well, if everybody wants it, is it as special all of a sudden? Because if everybody has a shot on the cliff, like what is like, how does that make it special all of a sudden? Like it's like that's why I like trying to get stuff that's not as popular, because at least it's a little bit more special for me, right? Because when you go back, it's like, well, not everyone has that shot, so
more about just finding finding a shot that is memorable to you, like
it has to have some sort of like meaning to you, versus just kind of like chasing the trend of whatever's going on up there.
And
it's like imagine climbing Everest and you see like a lineup of like 400 people in front of you. Like what? When I saw that photo, that was crazy, man. I'm trying to find it right now.
I think I know which.
I find it. I found it.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure I've seen it too. It's nuts.
You see it?
It's loading. Yeah. I've seen that.
Imagine you're at the bottom and you only have this window to climb. And then imagine you can't climb it because the window has closed, and now you got to go back down. Man, I'd be pissed.
And the scary thing is, you know how there's always from time to time you always hear about the amount of dead bodies up there.
Yeah, that's why
you can't leave.
I don't know. I guess
if you're in a line like this.
No, you can't. You can't leave. You're stuck there.
So when I saw that, I was kind of like, this is kind of scary.
It's like that's like over tourism to like the extreme, but like you take that example and you apply it to like different parts of like the world, like even like, I don't know, the Amazon in like South America, like who knows what's going on down there with like pollution and stuff. But
and I think certain
places, you see all those reports about like plastic and like the plastic and everything that's going on down there. But
and I think certain places like this, like Everest here, like you really have to so people don't die, literally. You really have to like, curb the number of people that can even come up here at one time, right? Like it's and have people that can actually make the climb,
versus just rich people that have money and they just want to do it because they got nothing else to do and they just want to do something.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that happens too. They have nothing else to do. Well, I'll just climb Everest. I got $500,000 at the bank,
Yeah.
and they have like a team of like
Oh, I'm sure.
got a team assembled and
I'm
all that
sure. I'm
stuff.
sure that
But I mean,
happens.
like to
Yeah.
me, it's like, how do you make the trip special for you? Like, how does it become special for you versus like chasing the trend? Like, do you try to like find like restaurants, like local restaurants, or like small businesses around that you can?
So it's great that you asked that, because earlier on in my photography, learning, I mean, I'm still learning, but when I was really just starting to pick up photography, I was chasing every spot, every every aesthetic street, et cetera. Nowadays, yes. And also because I'm traveling with my girlfriend, so she's not a photographer. So
She's
I balance
not.
that out by no. So
Oh,
so I balance that out with finding restaurants and stuff. She
okay.
I will give her credit. She does most of that.
Does she?
Yeah. She
Ooh,
loves. I mean, she loves food. I'm usually open
nice.
to trying whatever food as well. I'm pretty open.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mix in. Nowadays, I'm always, it's a balancing act between photography and like food and just whatever else comes about, really. It's it's not fully just chasing every spot anymore. I mean, I think like we were talking about earlier too, the culture. It's I think nowadays I'm very much interested in things like history and how cultures came to be and things like that. And food is definitely one of those things that instantly you discover, you almost like kind of discover their culture through food. Food is such a connecting like it just so food and photography,
they go hand in hand, man. They go hand in hand.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite dish that you've tried?
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
If you only had one dish that you could have,
man.
what dish would you pick?
Oh man, that's a hard one. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Can I give 3?
3, sure.
Okay. Let's see. Tacos.
Okay. From where?
Just anything on a corn tortilla, like a nice shrimp taco or a fish taco or
Does it have to be from a specific country?
No, not really. I mean, I had great tacos in LA the last time I was there. So that's definitely.
Tacos?
I mean,
I like tacos.
I think tacos.
I like tacos.
Yeah, you can eat that any time of day.
Tacos and cervezas, so I like that too.
Exactly. Yeah. You can have that any time of day. So I think that's
really good, especially today. It's a nice day.
Exactly. Right now. I wish I had one
right after this. So I'm gonna have tacos and cerveza. I'll tag you.
There you go. Yeah, tacos would definitely be one. 2, probably like sushi. Honestly, like I know that's such a basic answer, but
no, love sushi.
Sushi,
from Japan. From Japan.
Yes, Japan.
It has to be. You have to be in Japan. Okay.
It has to be Japan. Vancouver is also a great second place.
Sure.
Vancouver is also pretty great for sushi.
If you can't, if you can't hop over, okay, all right.
Exactly. Yeah, just stay in the country, So yeah, tacos, sushi.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Last but not least, man. Let's see.
Yeah, man, it's tough, man.
That's tough. You know what? I'll just leave it at those. At those.
Really?
Those two.
Tacos and sushi.
Just things you can eat at any time of day. I will just
any time of day. Okay, you know what I mean? There's fired up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can even really have sushi for breakfast if you
really wanted. There's no such There's no like set breakfast item in Japan. They don't really have breakfast items. You could just literally eat sushi in the morning if you really wanted to. Just bite-sized food. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool, man. Okay, well those are 2 good choices, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's all about the food too, right? The food is so like especially if you go to like local restaurants when you travel, and it just,
For sure.
because people that go, I've never understood why people go to McDonald's when they go other places. Like, why are you
Yeah.
going? I've never understood that.
I'm the
Why?
same. I don't like, just don't go to chain restaurants unless that chain is
Don't go to Hard
actually
Rock
good.
Cafe. Don't go to Hard Rock
No,
Cafe, please.
don't go to any of that. Come on.
Don't go to, like, what's happening now?
Like
Yeah,
if you could have that stuff here, just don't.
yeah.
Like you're
Just don't.
there, just try and experience
Go online,
things.
find like a local restaurant.
Yeah, I mean they're everywhere, so it's not
Does a local
hard.
dish.
Exactly.
Again,
Yeah.
kind of keep an open mind with like food too, right?
Yeah.
You know.
I think,
Um,
yeah, I mean, food being open with food, you realize I almost use food as a great example as to like how open-minded someone is.
right. It's a great gauge, eh?
It's a really great gauge,
It's good.
really.
It's a great gauge. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like it's like hand in hand sort of thing. Like if you're not very open to trying new food, you're probably not open to trying new
Yeah.
things at the same time. Like
Right.
I've
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
So
that. I like that. It's true though. It's true
yeah,
because what's going to happen? You don't like it, and then you don't have it anymore. At least try it
exactly.
once and just see, because you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's good, man. I mean, how do you any horror stories that you've had?
Horror
Anything that's happened,
stories.
like anything crazy that's happened to you? Like, did you end up in jail or?
Unfortunately, not. I don't have stories that crazy,
Yeah.
but I do have one that's
All right.
from last year actually when I was in Vietnam.
Okay.
So when I was at the rice terraces in
Yeah.
the area is called Mu Kang Chai.
Right.
It's one of the most well-known rice terrace like areas in like North Vietnam. Anyway,
Okay.
so when I was there, it was rainy. I want to say it was almost raining the entire time I was there. Unfortunately, it was muddy. You just you're pretty much there's not very much developed roads there. So on the way
Right.
there, it was bumpy, cold, rain. It was at night.
That's it. That's it.
This area, yes, yeah. So these around this area. So the area is called Mu Kang Chai.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we decided to hit up the Airbnb owner who offered to give us a tour of like this area. And
Right.
the tour was gonna be like 3 hours or something. And it was
Okay.
pouring. It was pouring that day, but most of us were like, we're here. Might as well just do it, even though it's pouring. So we agreed. Unfortunately, it was raining almost the entire time. So the shots you see here, some of it was
Yeah.
from like my Airbnb hostel, and the rest were just from the beginning of my tour. So here you see this shot. This is around the
Yeah.
beginning of my tour. This is maybe like 30
Okay.
minutes. Maybe this is like 30 minutes in. After an
Okay.
hour in, I could not take out my camera anymore because it was pouring. I'm
Oh.
telling you, it was pouring the entire time. And
Jeez,
it was cold. I underestimated how cold it was going to be. So we're walking around so when you're walking through this area, you're walking through mountains basically.
yeah.
And each of these rice terraces here, so you see these like one section of these is like humongous. It's like 10 feet high. So we're walking through mud and like dirt, and I'm walking in slippers, right? So I'm trying my best not to. Yeah, that's me. That's me. So that was poor decision making on my part, but so let me continue the story. So so that's the kind of terrain I'm walking. It's like up, down, it's raining. It's literal mud. And so we're making our way up and down a mountain, basically, right? So on our way coming back up to like the second half of our tour, it's steep, right? And I'm walking in slippers already. You're walking on rock, and you're literally walking on rock and mud while it's pouring rain.
Right.
I remember taking one wrong step. I nearly fell off this mountain.
No
like,
way.
because
Right
I
off.
thought I was, no, seriously. So I'm walking. So we're making our way up, right? And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it was like this steep high. Like when you're making your way up, it was this steep. Whatever route our Airbnb owner was
Man.
taking us, it was dangerous as hell.
Yeah.
So I made one wrong step. I literally, I took a step and I almost
Man.
just freaking just fell off
Just
the cliff. Yeah,
man.
because I thought I was walking. It was like bushy too, right? It's not just like literally like it wasn't just rock and mud. There's like bushes and like random grass patches and stuff. So I thought I was walking. I thought I was taking a step on like solid, like a solid
Right.
piece of rock and mud, but there was nothing under that patch of grass, and I just like.
Oh
So
man.
luckily, the two
Well,
people behind me just grabbed me right away, and
and then what happened? Did you still do the tour, or did you want to say, "Get me up here"?
we were midway through our tour, so I mean, we had to,
You're
right?
stuck up there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Kind of
I
takes the
mean,
fun out of it a little bit.
yeah. But yeah, that's. I
Man,
mean,
that's pretty
it was
crazy, man, to
scary.
fall from a mountain.
It was scary. It was scary.
Yeah.
I would
How
never
come the
do that
person was taking
again.
you in the rain? How come the person was taking you out in the rain?
So he asked us if we wanted to, but
Yeah.
we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, right? I thought we thought he
Right.
was taking us on like on like an actual
Mm.
like road or something. No, you're walking through all
No,
this,
no.
and this
Right,
is
right.
all mud, rock, rain, dirt, you name it.
Mm.
You're like
My God, man. My God.
yeah. I would
Better get
never
some tacos
recommend
after
that.
that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Well,
but
glad the story ended well.
I came back in one piece, and now I have
Yeah,
photos to
man.
share.
Yeah. Where else did you go in Vietnam?
It was just here. So
Why there?
Hanoi.
Yeah,
No, it was
Hanoi, yeah.
Hanoi was the main area we were staying in. Mukang Chai here, and then
Yeah.
also Halong Bay.
Ah.
So
And
yeah,
what was your
Halong Bay
favorite out
was.
of those?
I would still say the rice terraces. I would still say the rice terraces
So,
because
yeah. How
it's such a
come?
unique. Well, I mean, it's just such. So those rice terraces they're all man made. Did you know that? It's not natural.
Oh, interesting.
It's man made. That
So
is
all
crazy.
really? How do they do that?
I don't know, but the Airbnb host was telling us that it took them generations to. It took them it took them generations to like, you know, have
Yeah,
all these rice terraces out there,
and
all along the mountains.
it's just constant maintenance and constant growing and
Yeah, I don't know how they dug it up, but every one of
crazy,
those
man.
layers, if you want to call it that, every one of those layers is
Yeah, it's all
massive. Like
Meg. Wow.
it's mind blowing. Yeah, yeah,
Wow, wow, wow.
yeah,
Very cool. Well, Vietnam's on my list too, so
yeah. You'd probably
maybe
love
I'll
it.
help out those rice terraces. I probably would.
You probably love it.
I hear lots of good things. I hear lots of good things over there.
Yeah,
So
food's great. Everything's cheap.
yeah, everything's
It's
cheap,
great.
which is great, right? So
Yeah.
good. What's one of your dream destinations that you haven't been yet?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, like somewhere if money and time was no object, where would you go?
You know what? Probably Africa,
Yeah,
like the
whereabouts?
safari.
Mm, okay.
Because when I like growing up, I for some reason I just loved like animals and wildlife and stuff like that when I was like little,
Yeah.
and the African safari is one of those places I first learned about you know another like continent basically.
Right. Yeah,
And
man.
just the amount of the amount of wildlife that you can capture there, like zebras, giraffes, rhinos,
Yeah.
hippos, lions, like
Oh,
the list goes on, right?
I know. I
And
know.
animal photography is something I'd like to get into in the future.
Yeah.
When I have better lenses suited for
Yeah.
that kind of
What
photography.
lens you want? What lens you want?
Well, I
Like
mean,
a 700 mil?
you need those giant like rocket
Those
launcher type like
bazookas. That's what you need.
yeah,
That's what you
exactly.
need.
You need
Because you
those
can't
because
get close to them. You can't get close to them. They'll eat
yeah,
you.
you have to. I mean, you have to take a tour to even
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a guided tour to even be able to
Yeah.
capture some of
It's
that
all like
wildlife. So
it's all licensed and you need a permit and all that stuff to get through.
you
Again, it's like
don't just walk
tourism
in
and
there. Yeah,
yeah, you just
yeah,
can't show up and say, "Oh, hey, cows here, I'm ready to." No,
yeah,
no, it's true though. You do
yeah,
need to get all you can get all your permits and stuff. And
yeah.
Yeah, someone was on this podcast last year, and she went to Africa and did like a whole like safari thing, and her photos are crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah, that stuff
So
is
yeah, man, lots of fun. Africa's such a
yeah.
big continent. Like, where do you even like start? Like, do you
There you go. Yeah.
do you just like, to me, it's like you're already there. Like, do you just do like a safari? No, while you're there, you should go to like other places. Like, I would go to like Namibia or like
Yep,
and
for
see
sure.
like
Yep.
the sand dunes and everything.
Yeah.
That's an experience, man. Talk about
That would be
experience. You talk about experience, like
that would be
life-changing.
that's on my list. That's on my list one day.
Yeah,
Namibia. Yeah.
sure. Namibia, man. I've seen some again. It's popular because like everyone, like so many people gone there and they posted their photos and say, "Oh my god, I want that shot." So it kind of goes back to like earlier
Social media.
conversation, right? Like, say, "Well, I want that shot now too."
Yeah. Social
It is
media.
what it is, right? But
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, man. We're just trying to outline. You're off on a trip soon, anyway. So I'm glad I
Yeah.
was able to catch you before you jet off for another excursion, man.
Hey, perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Love it. And
Yeah.
my suggestion is like wait after the summer because prices drop.
Oh yeah.
Less crowds.
Oh yeah. Yeah, way less crowds. Way less.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I know you had to run, so I just want to say thanks again for coming on, and hopefully you
No
enjoyed
problem,
this.
Man. Yeah,
Any
this
final?
was fun.
Yeah, we should do it again. Maybe when you come back, you can kind of show us some of your photos from your upcoming trip. Do you want to leave off with any other final words for the people out there?
No, I mean just thanks again for having me. First podcast I've ever hopped on.
It's your first one, so now you're ready to rock.
Yeah.
Maybe invite a podcast when you travel.
Hey, maybe I'll have one of my own one day. We'll see. I don't know.
Start your own, like your own travel podcast, man. Like tips and tricks. You mentioned you're going to video, so your YouTube channel. You never know what's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So thanks for having me. This was definitely fun. Yeah, just I guess stay tuned for some of my Europe photos and what have you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What city are you most excited about going to on this trip?
Copenhagen.
Yeah,
for sure.
How come?
That's Copenhagen? Well, I mean, that's a city Nordic countries I've always wanted to go to. And Copenhagen is definitely the one city I associate Nordic countries with.
Sure.
So naturally, and you always hear about how Copenhagen is so like progressive, and the food scene's great, and there's so many things to see, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. It's clean. So what more can you ask, right? Bikes. There you go.
Make sure you rent a bike.
Yeah, I'm looking to do that. Yeah, for sure.
It's like Amsterdam. You always got to make sure, like, before you cross the road, make sure that there's no bike trying to like nail you.
Biking in Amsterdam was that's another story from another time. Biking in Amsterdam, I biked there. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah.
They take their biking seriously.
They
very
really
seriously.
Do. Yeah.
And they frown upon tourists kind of encroaching into their bike lane. They do not.
Oh yeah.
Me too. I did the same thing.
They stared me down. Yeah, they stared me down.
But they do not. They give me the big like, what the hell do you think?
Yeah.
Sorry, Toronto. Not so bike friendly here, but
yeah, exactly.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again for coming on. People watching, listening, wherever this thing is, go check out Cal. His link is in the description of this video. And thanks, man. Safe travels, eh?
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah.
Make sure you get some bangers, eh?
We'll do. All
right. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Everyone, have a good evening. Peace.